Hello and welcome to our weekly town hall. My name is Brian Herrick, Director of Operations here at Midwest Centers, and with me as always is Michelle from Kish Housing.
Good morning.
How are you, Michelle?
I'm good.
It's cold.
It is.
Snow.
Yes.
Winter can be over now.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, but I'm grateful for every day, even the cold ones, even the snowy ones. If you've never seen one of our town halls, it's probably because you're relatively new to Midwest Center, so we'd like to say welcome. We're glad you're here. The purpose of these town halls is to go over any program changes, any rules, any reminders, both on the treatment side and Kish Housing, and hopefully we can get everybody started off on the right foot.
Absolutely.
So to get us started off on the right foot, would you mind starting us off, Michelle?
I would love to. Thank you. So you guys are watching this on Monday. We actually filmed it on Friday, but you should have had a all resident meeting yesterday. So a lot of this is just going to be refresher from the meeting that you guys participated in yesterday. But I do want to take a moment to remind everybody that cleanliness and good hygiene are very important to living in our community living situation here at Kish. Taking the time to make sure that your personal space is tidy, doing your laundry regularly, cleaning up your dishes in the kitchen, cleaning up after yourself in the bathroom, using the bathroom appropriately, taking regular showers, having good dental hygiene are all really important parts of being in this sober living situation. And it is something that you did agree to do when you signed that living agreement when you were entering Kish. So I just wanted to take a moment to remind everybody of that. And I do know that sometimes depression symptoms will escalate and it's hard to get up and do those things. And if you're experiencing those kind of symptoms, please come and talk to the Kish staff so that we can get you connected with your clinical staff or the medical staff to have medications adjusted if need be, so that you can get back on track in taking care of yourself so that you can continue to move forward in your recovery. I also want to take a moment to remind everybody that speaking with respect and showing respect and following the directives to Kish staff is also part of the living agreement you signed. You don't have to agree with or like the things that the staff is asking you to do, but you do have to complete the things that the staff is asking you to do, and you have to speak to them with respect. Threats towards the staff or foul language towards the staff is not acceptable. If you have an issue, you can seek out management, but really the staff is there to hold you accountable to the living agreement. So if there's something that you don't agree with, I encourage you strongly to go find the handbook in the hallway of the building, get the living agreement, read through it, and understand what your responsibilities are at Kish. But I just need you to know that threatening my staff is no longer going to be acceptable, and it will very much place your housing at risk. Also, smoke detectors. I had staff go through last week, and there are a number of smoke detectors that have been removed, or the batteries have been taken out of the smoke detectors from primarily the kitchen area. And so I need everyone to go through and rehang those. This is destruction of Kish property. You do not have the right to take those down. You're impacting the safety of the building, and I need them replaced immediately. And this is also your weekly reminder to make sure that you turn in your weekly check-in sheets with your sober support verifications and volunteer hours on Wednesday. We're getting better about it. I think this is our third week of doing it. So I'm just going to continue to push those reminders and make sure that everybody's getting those done. Lastly, I want to take a moment to let you all know another thing that is not going to be acceptable at Kish is staff splitting. It won't be tolerated whatsoever. When one staff member gives you a directive, don't go seek out another one to get a different answer. That isn't going to end in your favor at all. So just if a staff gives you direction, that's the direction you have. If you don't agree with it, do it anyway, and then come find me or Dave and talk about it. So those are the announcements. Before I end, I wanted to end on a positive note. I want to give a shout out to Cody and Brianne, who have actively been operating sober support meetings on Kish property due to low staffing levels and the inability to get out every day to a meeting. They've found a solution and they've been conducting their own meetings.
That's incredible.
I'm really proud of them for that.
Good job, you two.
Yeah. And then I also want to give a really warm welcome to Bradley and Carter, who are our new peer supports at Kish. So make sure that you're treating them as you treat any other staff, with the respect that all staff deserve.
Thank you, Michelle. So staff and respect, it's a hard job sometimes, right? It's a very fulfilling job. That's why I entered this career. So it's very important to treat the staff both at Kish and here at the center with respect. And on that note, I would say that the staff here and at Kish are very, very hardworking. Probably none here in this building as hardworking as Paige up at the front desk. Shout out to Paige. Always delightful, always helpful. That being said, she has a chaotic job. She's got a tough job, maybe the toughest here in this building. So please, do not go to Paige for things that your case manager, your therapist, the nurse can take care of for you. If you have transportation concerns or situations, things of that nature, if you'd like to schedule an appointment, the appropriate way to do that is utilizing a client request form, which can be found in the paper tray on the wall by the clinical hallway. Fill that out for the appropriate staff member, and they will address that. Please avoid the front for almost any reason, and give her some much needed space, please. This is just another weekly friendly reminder of the importance of being on time, both for group and for your individual appointments, and anything else in your life that requires you to be somewhere at a certain time. Please show up prior to the start of group, ready to sign in and hopefully participate. I want to say that this is your life, right, Michelle? This is your treatment. Nobody can recover for you. This is your responsibility, and I hope you take this time seriously. You will get out of it what you put into it, I guarantee. Also a reminder, I have not said this in a while, but smoking and vaping is to be done outside only. This is a healthcare facility. It is to be done outside and within the fenced-in area out back, please. We've got a number of complaints recently from neighbors in the parking lot, both out front and out back. And I wanted to say that although being in recovery and people in recovery is more accepted nowadays, there is still a stigma attached to it. Individuals, I experience discrimination in certain forms. So I would encourage everyone to be a positive example of what us in recovery, who we really are, people with integrity. I would desperately like to continue to serve people here in this building, in this community, so that as many people as possible can recover and change their lives. In order to do that, we need to respect our neighbors, our community, and by doing that, please, the first step is to smoke and vape within the fenced-in area, please. One
of the hardest lessons to learn in early recovery is that the world does not revolve around you.
It does not. In fact, I learned early on in my recovery that selfishness, self-centeredness was the root of my disease, and I have found it abundantly true throughout my life.
Yeah, to always think about how your actions are impacting the people around you, even if you don't know who those people are.
That's right. Common courtesy is not so common. And lastly, my last announcement, no one under any circumstances is permitted behind the front desk or in an office unaccompanied by staff. There may be private, sensitive, HIPAA-protected information back there, and it is just not a space for anybody but staff to be in. If you have a need for something, please ask staff, not Paige, as I said earlier, somebody else, and they will assist you. Being found in some of those locations or one of those locations could result in disciplinary action up to and including referral out of services. And those are my announcements for the week. Now's my favorite part. I have some shout outs. Again, there's a lot of wins happening in this building and over at Kish. I'm overjoyed to see it. If I don't acknowledge you, if I'm unaware, please, I hope that you're not offended. Come and tell me. I would love to hear about your wins. But I would like to say first, we've got a number of birthdays. Some of them I missed, so I want to go back a little bit. Ryan B's birthday was on the 17th of this month. Eric T's was on the 18th of this month. Warren J celebrated a birthday on the 21st. Vincent D was on the 22nd. Both James W. and Richard E., you guys are birthday brothers, on the 25th. And Mario Z's is coming up on Wednesday the 28th. Lots of January birthdays out there. So happy birthday, everybody. Next, I want to say that, Michelle, did you know that James Mullins was in school, in college?
He just told me.
Yeah, he's taking college courses. Not only that, he's killing it, and he's been getting A's in all of his classes.
Well, that's fantastic.
So wonderful.
We're overachievers.
I love that. Apply that to your recovery, to your life. Continue to grind, my friend. Good job. And then speaking of grinding, Lawrence D., Brendan M., and James R. all gained employment this last week. So congratulations, you guys. You were well on your way.
I also believe that Shelby W. gained employment as well.
Shelby W. did. And I think Mandy S.
Yes.
Now that I'm thinking about it. Lots of employment. Good job, you guys. If anybody else gained employment, I applaud you. Good job. And this is the part of the town hall where I like to leave you with a little bit of hopefully some motivation, some inspiration, and some peace of mind. A young woman walked along a trail toward the mountains, carrying a small bundle on her back. The path was narrow, rocky, and quiet. One of the roads that doesn't care how ready you feel. Not far in, she slipped. Her knee hit the ground. Her hand scraped stone. She sat there, angry with herself, breathing hard, like she failed a test. An elder who had been gathering wood nearby came over and knelt down beside her. He didn't laugh, and he also didn't lecture. He simply said, "You fell." "I always do," she muttered. "I'm not meant for this." The elder picked up a small stick and drew a line in the dirt. "This is the trail," he said. Then he made a few marks off to the side, messy, crooked, scattered. "And this," he said, "is what it looks like when someone keeps going." The young woman stared at the marks. "That's not going," she said. "That's stumbling." The elder nodded, "Yes, and still forward." He helped her stand, then pointed down the path. "The mountain doesn't ask if you walked perfectly," he said. "It only asks that you keep walking." She wiped her hands clean, took a steady breath, and stepped forward again, still unsure, but moving. And that was enough. The moral of that story, ladies and gentlemen, is that in recovery, stumbling doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're still on the path. Please keep going. In recovery, stumbling isn't proof that you're weak. It's proof that you're human. The path out of addiction, trauma, old ways of living, it's not a straight line, because you're not just quitting a substance or substances, you're rebuilding a life or building a new one. And rebuilding anything takes time, mistakes, and patience. You will have days where you feel strong and days where you feel ashamed, frustrated, and tired. But the truth is this: progress isn't measured by how perfectly you walk. It's measured by how often you choose to stand back up. A slip doesn't erase the work you've done. A hard day doesn't cancel your good days. And a setback doesn't mean you've lost. It just means you've learned where you still need support, structure, and healing. Every time you get back on the trail, you are proving something powerful, that you haven't given up on you. You are choosing your future over your impulses. You're choosing healing over helplessness and hopelessness. And that choice, made again and again, is what eventually becomes a new way of life. So don't let the stumble convince you don't belong on the path. The stumble is part of the path. What matters most is that you keep moving forward, especially on the days where it's the hardest. And as always, my friends, have a happy, safe, and sober week. Thank you.
Bye.